Hey guys, it's Ellie here, and I'm excited for this video because it's the first in a new series I'm releasing tailored towards couples planning their wedding day. Of course, I will still be releasing weekly videos for photographers and creatives on mindset and photography tutorials. Those will be released on Tuesdays, whereas videos tailored towards couples wedding planning will be released on Wednesdays. I just think during this time with everything happening and the craziness of the world, couples planning their wedding day really need some additional support from vendors. So I really hope that this series helps with that. Okay, so today's question is whether or not you should wear a veil on your wedding day. Of course, this is such a personal decision, but I'm just gonna give some advice based on what I have seen from documenting weddings. Now, historically speaking, the veil can be traced back to ancient Rome. The bride would actually use it to conceal herself and hide away from evil spirits that would try to, possibly impede on your happiness with your future partner. So I think that that's really interesting how it was used as a way to kind of hide away from evil spirits. Over time, the symbolism of the veil obviously changed. I think it has been associated with purity and innocence, and of course, it means different things in different cultures and different faiths. Stylistically speaking, I love a veil on a bride. I think it just looks so sophisticated, so beautiful, and really just adds to the entire look, and it always photographs amazing. All right, so this leads me into the pros. So like I said, a veil just photographs beautifully. You know those photos where the veil is like blowing in the wind or it's wrapped around the bride's shoulders. It just really looks super romantic, and also it can be used in the forefront to kind of add dimension to photos and give them a really ethereal, romantic look. The other pro is that oftentimes I really feel like it just completes the entire wedding day look. Okay, so now on to the cons. So con number one is that it's just one more thing to worry about on your wedding day, and veils tend to be fussy. I've seen it again and again where the bride is finished getting, she just got her hair and her makeup done, she looks great, and now the hair or makeup stylist is going to help her put on her veil, and it looks amazing, and it looks like that for the first hour, and then something happens. Either, the veil, especially with really long veils, either when she's walking down the stairs, she steps on it, or when taking photos, the groom or a family member steps on it, and then it shifts the veil in her hair, or it tugs at her hair, or in some cases the veil just comes off entirely, and then she's stressed about having to find someone to put it back in correctly. So I know this all sounds kind of overwhelming and stressful, but I'm saying it because I've seen it happen multiple times at weddings. So what I will say is that if you are going to have a veil, especially if it's a really long veil, this is crucial. I highly suggest to get two people, maybe your maid of honor and your mom, and have them pay very close attention when the hairstylist is placing the veil on your head. The reason is that you want them to know exactly how to put it in, and make sure extra bobby pins are added also so that it's nice and secure. But this way, if the veil should fall out or be pulled out later on during the day, you can go to either of those two people and they can easily know how to secure it back on without this causing any additional stress. Okay, so con number two. Now, this isn't necessarily a con, but it's just something to think about, because while it looks amazing for photos, it doesn't quite work for other photos. So what I mean by this is you have to think about the style of photography you're most drawn to. If you're most drawn to very romantic, delicate looking photos, your photographer is probably not going to be moving you around a whole lot. Yes, you'll be given prompts that move you around, of course, to keep you looking natural, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. And in those instances, the veil isn't going to impede on the photos in any way. But let's say that you're that couple who is really more adventurous and you really want photos that have that spontaneous look. You want a lot of movement. Maybe you're going for that bohemian, free-spirited, hippie vibe. I would highly suggest not wearing a veil. The reason being is that it impedes on a lot of movement and flexibility. So, you know, photos where the groom is lifting the bride up or twirling her around or spinning her around, you know, piggyback photos, all of those type of photos that are associated with that adventurous type of photography, a veil just in those instances really does not work. Of course, you can choose to wear the veil for some photos and then take it off. That is always an option, but it's just to kind of give you an idea of the look you're going for and where the veil really works and where it really does not. Now, con number 3 has to do with wind. If you live somewhere where there tends to be a lot of wind, or it happens to be a windy day on your wedding day, I would recommend ditching the veil, because in those situations, it tends to become more of a hindrance. It often just becomes hard to control and will often fly in front of the bride's face, possibly affecting her makeup. Okay, so number 4. If you're wearing a busier gown that just has a lot of things going on, I would recommend also not wearing a veil, especially if your dress has a lot of details and intricacies in the back. A veil in that instance would just cover it up. All right, guys, so that sums it up. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you're wedding planning, I do have a complimentary guide for wedding planning. It basically includes all the details of planning your wedding day, checklists galore to make sure that nothing is forgotten. And I also include an amazing wedding day timeline to ensure wedding photography that really just works with the sun so that you'll get the best photos. You can download those here as well as in the description area down below. All right, guys, so what I want to know is, based on this video, are you drawn to wear a veil on your wedding day? Yes or no? And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.